life is
7 o'clock. It's now time for the Morning Watch with Reverend Dr. Dylan Toussaint.
Listeners to Love 101 FM are advised that the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Love 101 FM.
The Morning Watch today is brought to you by the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, achieving prosperity through partnership, economic growth, and sustainable development.
In 2022, 51 projects were completed under the Urban Renewal Program. This includes zinc fence removal, installation of solar lights and street signs, and the upgrade of parks and green spaces. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation is reviving the urban landscape, renewing communities for a better tomorrow.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org. And if you're overseas and on the move, U.S. listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you're in the UK, 0330-332-6541. Or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live. In the first watch today, is the taxi fare increase a fare increase? And in the second watch, the world's response to the Israel-Hamas war. What is the right response? For our social media question, we ask, is the taxi fare increase a fare increase? We're asking you to share your responses on our Love 101 FM Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also on WhatsApp 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your responses later on in the program, but before all of that, here's I quote.
This morning's I quote: God requires his servants to walk in the light and not cover their eyes, that they may not discern the working of Satan. Ellen G. White.
Good morning, Nadine.
Good morning, Rev. How are you?
I am well. Good to have you this morning again. Long time no see or hear.
I know, right? I know. I'm trying to, find my way in the light.
You're doing okay. You're doing okay. You're a veteran at this.
Thank you.
Any truth to the rumor that Jukal get rich and switch, graduate and migrate?
No, him get cool.
Got to hot Jamaica, to cold Georgia.
I know.
Yeah, if Jukal is listening, or if I'd come back, we're thankful that you are able to travel. And you're traveling as well soon.
Yes, I can imagine. Boy, I tell you. I don't know.
Safe journey.
Thank you.
The first watch will be back after this break.
Excuse me, sir. How much patty you are buying?
Me no know.
Me think you should buy 5.
Why? Why me fi buy 5?
Cause juicy patty have a cheesy surprise.
When you buy 85 juicy patties, you can cheese it up for free.
Yeah, all 5 patty full of cheese. And it's anchor cheese, you know. And did I tell you it's only for the month of October? So you better run go down there fast. Right now, cheese! Cheese it up. Upgrade 5 patties of cheese for free today. At any juicy patty island-wide.
Conditions apply.
As our family grows, our home internet needs have grown too.
And now, with Flow's fiber-fast internet and smart Wi-Fi coverage, we're always connected in any room at home.
With Yacht and Road Plus, get gig speed, fiber-fast internet, smart Wi-Fi, plus unlimited mobile on the go. All for the special offer of only $6,999 plus GCT a month. Fiber fast internet and smart Wi-Fi coverage inspired by you. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
My kids are growing up in a rapidly changing world. They amaze me every day with their curiosity and passion for wanting to create a better future for us all. The government is investing in Jamaicans through the STEM scholarship program. Now, my kids have the opportunity to pursue studies in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to get certified as STEM professionals. And yours can too. Find out more at www.mof.gov.jm/scholarships. Sign up for a STEM scholarship today.
Follow Grace Sardine, follow the better flavor. Grace Sardine with the chef and the beginner. Follow the one with pepper, that are the winner. Shop on supermarkets, everybody sell it. Do all of them nice. Pass the back, make push it.
Grace Sardines, follow the better flavor.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Now, if you paid 19% more on public transport to get to work this morning, it's because the fares went up from last Sunday. And come next year, April, it will go up another 16%. The operators say it's been a long time coming and still not enough. So are the transport operators satisfied? And what's the general feeling among commuters? Well, to answer these and other related questions, we have online Mr. Louis Barton, President of the Jamaica Association of Taxi Owners and Operators, and Pastor Dane Wilson, pastor of Bunkers Hill New Testament Church of God. Good morning to you both.
Yeah, good morning, Dylan. Morning, Pastor.
Morning to everyone.
Good to have you both with us this morning. I begin with you, Mr. Barton.
Okay.
As far as you know, what is the history and the process which led to this 19% fare increase?
All right. Thanks for this question. And by the way, good morning to your listeners also. And on a personal note, Dylan, I just made note of your last name, and it seems to be a Haitian name. I'm one of those people who...
It's a French name, actually, not Haitian. It's a French name, Mr. Barton.
Oh, is it French? All right.
Yes.
But I like the integration of different cultures in Jamaica. I just love it. Anyway, let me go on. I don't know where we should start because I've been in the transportation industry from about 2003, 2004, right? And over the years, we have had demands. The transport operators have had demands for increase in bus fare and taxi fare, right? It came up to and all that time we have never had the amount that we asked for.
Mm-hmm.
But the amount that we asked for is we calculated based on the expenses that we incur over a particular period. The last increase here, the 19% or the 35%, which is 19% now and 16% in April, is based on the last 3 years of expenses and our economy. We show that and we prove it. We got to collect all the information, all the statistics from the oil companies, the companies that we buy parts from, how much we have to pay the drivers, the insurance companies. Those are our main expense: the oil and the gas and the insurance. The transport authority fee or the government fee is there, but not a significant portion. But we calculate all of those fees, and it showed that in our calculation, in Jatu's calculation, it shows that we have had a 35% increase over the past 3 years. Now, what we try to do is to say, let us catch up with that 35%. We had 37%. So we said we were asking for 37%. But we got 35%. But that 35% just really put us back to where we were in 2020, right? And if you go further back from when I came into the system, it is putting us back further than the 2020. What I'm thinking that what we really need right now is a total review of how transportation costs have impacted not only operators but the commuting public. Because when we ask for for the 37%, we know that some of our passengers would not be able to afford something like that. So when the government give us the 35%, we are satisfied with that. But we are still way behind the ball. And I don't know when, but soon we may be asking for not for a price increase, but so much for an adjustment to things that affect our cost. I'm thinking that the cost of oil, the cost of gas, you could take off the tax off it so that those things are reduced. Like gas is literally over 50% of our input. If you remove the tax on the gas or you reduce the tax on the gas, it will be of tremendous help for us, and that can be passed on to our commuters, to our passengers.
Interesting. Pastor Wilson, still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. Are you a commuter, Pastor Wilson?
Yes, I am.
All right. Okay, great. What are your opening thoughts on this fare increase? Is it a FAIR increase?
Well, I do believe in some sense it can be seen as a fare increase, but fare for who? That is, because it can be fair for, as my brother here would say, which he rightly says, that this is something that should have been implemented for a long time ago, or implemented in small portions over the long period of time. However, it did not happen. So it is fair in the sense where I can look now, and as would have been indicated, I'm from Bunkers Hill, Trelawney, where the road is not as good as you would want it. So when you think about a taxi operator, you're thinking about a person who is driving through a very rough terrain, having to deal with the roads, having to deal with that, and then they would have to make money to fix their car, pay gas, and they would also have to make money to live a sturdy life. But then when I look at that, as my brother would say, it seems that if you lessen the amount of problems that might lead to all these expenses, then it might have a smoother flow when it comes on to being a fare increase. However, that's why I asked the question, fare for who? Because as I am thinking about this, then it is a increase that goes all across the board. And I'm thinking about a tertiary student who is already struggling to pay the ordinary fee. And now you have done this 19% increase and looking to increase more. Now, that person who's struggling to even make themselves to school with what they have now have to find it. And some person might say, oh, it's just a small increase. We will see just how much every mickle make a muckle is true in this area. And then what about the mother who is her pay is hand to mouth, and she has to work at town, and she don't have the money to even transport herself ordinarily with the previous situation. But no, what about these persons who are not able to make the adjustment so easily? So I think it is fair for some persons and unfair for some persons.
And fair for the some. When you say some persons, you are saying the taxi operators, but not commuters? In terms of fear,
I
right?
believe so. And
You
if
believe
you
so? Okay.
if you think about it, the ratio of taxi operators to persons who would be severely affected,
Yeah.
it is not as much. So it is more even on the unfair side. Because
Okay, all right.
yeah.
Well, tell you what, Pastor Wilson, up on a break. Hold that thought. We'll be right back.
All right, no problem.
Do you have questions about the availability of medication from your drugstore pharmacist?
Ask your pharmacist.
Contact the NHF to find out more. The time by the NHF is
7:15 and 50 seconds. You're inside the Morning Watch, brought to you by the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation.
In 2022, 51 projects were completed under the Urban Renewal Program. This includes zinc fence removal, installation of solar lights and street signs, and the upgrade of parks and green spaces. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation is reviving the urban landscape, renewing communities for a better tomorrow.
Take a good look at your Sagicor Bank credit card. Do you see the Acropolis of Athens? The picture-perfect beaches of Crete? Use your Sagicor Bank credit card and you could discover the magic of Greece. Get a chance to win a luxury trip for two to Greece when you spend with your Sagicor Bank Gold and Platinum credit card until November 25, 2023. The more you spend, the more chances to discover Greece. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Visit sagicor.com to learn more.
NIS pensioners, avoid the wait. Get your NIS pension straight to your bank account. It's easy. Simply visit the Ministry of Labor and Social Security's website, mlss.gov.jm, or the nearest NIS office and collect the direct deposit application form. Then complete the form and submit it along with supporting documents to the NIS office nearest you. Avoid crowds and long lines. Get your money when you want it. The National Insurance Scheme, always working for you.
Cinerose Chromium Plus is an all-natural herbal product formulated specially for people with type 2 diabetes. An elevated sugar level in the blood will lead to renal failure, damage to the brain, and amputation of your toes or feet, damage to the heart, stroke, ECT. Cinerose Chromium Plus will reduce the level of sugar in the blood, taking it down to normal, and protect you. To get your Cinerose Chromium Plus, call Havco Herbs and Extracts, 876-540-8871.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint, and in this, the first watch, we are discussing the whole matter of the fare increase. Is it a fare increase? FAIR. And in so doing, we have online Pastor Dane Wilson, pastor of the Bunkers Hill New Testament Church of God, and Mr. Louis Barton, president of the Jamaica Association of Taxi Owners and Operators. Before the break, Pastor Wilson was making the point, I believe, that it's perhaps fair to the taxi operators, but not to the commuting public. Mr. Barton, what's your response to that?
Well, two things. We operate in a system where, as a business person, we have to make a profit in order to stay alive, right? And every taxi operator you see out there, the red plates, and even some that are just white plates. And I'm not representing the white plate taxi operators, but every one of them have to make a profit in order to stay alive, right? Now, the calculation that I told you about, that calculation we considered fair, FAIR, because it did take our operation expenses into consideration, and there's a figure there that we added to it, which was the average profit, the normal profit that businesses in Jamaica, well, we did it for the Caribbean. Businesses in the Caribbean will make a profit of 17% above their normal expenses. So from that point of view, where we do the mathematical calculation and added something for the normal thing, we are saying that is fair. right? But the other thing is that fear is kind of relative. It's a relative term because what may be fear to you may be unfair to me. But am I servicing you in a proper way? Because that is another problem that we have in the transport sector. The government and other people are saying that the transport operators are not providing good service. So in addition to the increase that we get, we are promising that the service that the commuter get will be improved. Now, that will be very hard to do based on the situation, based on the structure that we have now to pick up and drop off passengers, especially in the corporate area, in the Kingston region.
What's in place, what's in place, Mr. Barton, to have that improvement done and be visible? Yeah. What is in place?
One thing is that it's just the punishment that comes with it. For now, the initial thing is that if you are found, if the passenger is found to be overcharging the passengers will be given a number. It will be advertised by the Ministry of the Transport Authority, I think this week. And I think that they have already started advertising it. A telephone number that will be responded to, that you can call and report this transport operator as overcharging. Now, there is some debate.
Already overcharging, Mr. Barton. It is said that they are already overcharging even before this increase. And persons are overcharging now, and they have different figures out there for the same routes.
Right. Let us say the corporate area for one, right? I know some operators who travel on the area between Harpatry and Papine, right? Those taxes are allowed to charge, I think it's $720 to go from Harpatry to Papine. What should happen is that they divide that 720 by 4 because they can carry up to 4 passengers, and each passenger pay, if you round it up from what they're charging now of 150 to by the 19%, then you'll get $180, right? So the new fare on that in that section, whether you're getting a turn off or not, is $180. So that will be calculated on each route. If you're paying $100 now, then it might go up to by 19% to 120 when you round it off, because 19% would be 119 something. So they'll round it off to the nearest 20. So that is what is happening. But the thing is, they are trying to get the passengers to help the system to get rid of drivers who are overcharging. And we know that they're overcharging, right? Some of them, and it's not all of them, but some of them are overcharging. And when you overcharge, then it sends a bad message on all of us. So we are saying, let us deal with that. There are other things. The police supposed to be coming out to see what is happening on the road. The minister was on the road. I'm not trying to promote the minister right now, but the minister is on the road regular to see what is happening.
Okay.
They're supposed to get
it seems as yes, Mr. Barton, hearing it loud and clear.
Yeah, they're supposed to get a system in place that at least I'm advocating that after we go out on the road and we see what is happening, we come back in and we assess and see what we can come up with to address any problems that we see on the road. But the fear I'm thinking is as the pastor say, it is fear to you but unfair to me. But if you look at it overall for Jamaica, it is something that we compromise on, because we won't get everything going our way all the time.
Well said. Pastor Wilson, what are the concerns? What are you picking up on the ground, sir, in terms of the concerns on the commuting public to this fare increase? And in light of what Mr. Barton just said.
Well, I must firstly say that I admire And I am very much proud that there's an organization like what Mr. Barton is putting forward that is thinking and organizing towards ensuring that there is a sense of fairness while also being a sense of having um, profit and having advantage for the persons who deserve it, right? And I feel like they are in this time genuinely thinking about about everybody, right? Both the taxi operators and the community, and that's a very hard balance to strike in many cases. So I admire the effort, and I really really do believe from my perspective where I am right now, as I would have stated, I live in the Bunkers Hill community, and the road is terrible, absolutely terrible. So I can know why a taxi operator would want would desperately want a fare increase, because as I would have indicated before, the various expenses.
So the people out there, Pastor Wilson, they're okay with the increase? Are the people in that community okay with the increase so far? What you picking up?
I'm picking up based on a conversation that I had just the other day in a taxi, that the persons, they are happy in a sense because now they can avoid being overcharged, because the truth is that they were being overcharged, right? So if they should have been paying 120, they were paying 150. But there are some honest taximen around here who are actually paying the right, telling you to pay the right fare, right? But they are saying that boy, when the fare increase come, they want to actually see their salary go up. So
if it doesn't go up, it's trouble. Pastor,
if it doesn't go up, then
there's a further
doing
increase.
something wrong.
There's a further increase coming in 2024, April. Are you okay with that?
Well, hoping that by that time I would have a personal vehicle. But if I don't, I would believe that it is a little bit too close to now, because they're more so when something like this happens, there's so much adjustment that you have to make, especially if you're a person like me that budgets. If you budget out what you want to do for the week with a very tight expense to surplus mindset, you really, it is very hard to make such a quick adjustment. And then if I'm not mistaken, the increase in April is 16%.
Yes, sir.
That is very close to 19%, right?
Yes, sir.
So it's like,
I ask you,
I'm wondering, it is going to cause a lot, and I always am going to raise the marginalized, the persons who are not so economically founded, the persons who are, as people would say, down in the barrel. How will those persons adjust, right? The persons who don't have it, who can't make it, who are struggling, right? So as I would have said in the first statement, it is fair for some, but unfair for many.
Yeah, in 6 months, it ends up being 35% increase. What Mr. Barton, you want to jump in? Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say, you see, since the beginning of this year, from January to now, the oil price in Jamaica has increased over 6%. I did a calculation some time ago, recently, and at least that has increased. So the price of our inputs keep on increasing. And probably everybody in Jamaica know that the price of a patty, and I hate to trivialize it that much, but the price of a patty has increased.
That's the point, Mr. Burton. The increase in the oil, gas, and everything is affecting everybody at every stratum of society.
Yeah.
So we are all feeling it. When you go to the supermarket, you're feeling it.
Exactly. But I'm saying that if we don't have the required amount of money to buy gas for that morning, because we have to pay more for the feeding of our children at home, we cannot go out and buy gas, right? But I also want to add that between now and April, Jatu is asking that operators be required to be part of an association. If you're part of an association, then the association can keep tabs on you as far as your behavior is concerned. And by now to April, we can tell the government that yes, these 400 operators who are members of JATU are doing good.
Yes, I'm so sorry, Mr. Barton. We are totally out of time. I want to thank you both for joining us this morning, and we hope that this fare increase will continually be a FAIR increase. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Safe day.
Thank you very much for having me.
Listeners, the Morning Watch will return in just a moment.
Anything possible with a little savings in your hand.
The time by Jan Bank is
7:31.
Well, if you want buy appliances for your home with the quality high and the price low, get it on Habashco. Get it on Habashco.
Sign up online for your free Bashco loyalty card at www.bashcojm.com. It's easy and it's free. Shop and earn 3% cashback on every purchase. www.bashcojm.com.
Bashco, the store that gives you more. Bashco.
I've been hearing about this constitutional reform thing. You know anything about it?
Yes, constitutional reform is a chance for us to Jamaicanize the constitution.
But how?
Enough things changed since 1962, and we've matured as a nation. So modernizing the constitution will reflect our current societal values.
Oh, a constitution for Jamaicans, approved by Jamaicans.
Are you ready for the journey? Join us on the road to Republic. Think independence, think Republic. A message from the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life-changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
Once upon a time, there was a girl named Kay. She loved to dance and play. One day at school, she got very ill, and Mom was left with an unbearable bill. It would be easier if Mom was prepared. With School Companion, 80% of the bill is cleared. Medical care for children is a must for as low as $2,400 per month. Make unbearable medical bills go away. Sign up for Sagicor School Companion today.
You're tuned to Love 101, and this is the Morning Watch brought to you by the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation.
In 2022, 51 projects were completed under the Urban Renewal Program. This includes zinc fence removal, installation of solar lights and street signs, and the upgrade of parks and green spaces. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation is reviving the urban landscape, renewing communities for a better tomorrow.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Coming up next, we'll read some of the feedback from our social media question. Is the taxi fare increase a fare increase? I repeat, is the taxi fare increase a FAIR increase? We're asking you to leave a comment on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, Love 101 FM Jamaica, or WhatsApp 876-997-3125. We'll be right back.
My boss, me, man. Greetings from your future self. Just to make you know that the things work out as we planned back in the day. We get the car we did always want. I can't complain about retirement. Nah lie.
Start planning early with a Jane Individual Retirement Scheme. Retirement lasts longer than you think.
One piece of advice. Take some picture while we still have hair on we head.
Do your future a favor. Make sure you're in a position to enjoy retirement. Contact Jane Life Insurance today.
Excuse me, sir. How much patty you are buying?
Me no know.
Me think you should buy 5.
Why? Why me fi buy 5?
Cause juicy patty have a cheesy surprise.
When you buy any 5 juicy patties, you can cheese it up for free.
Yeah, all 5 patty full of cheese. And it's anchor cheese, you know. And did I tell you, it's only for the month of October. So you better run go down there fast. Right now, cheese! Cheese it up. Upgrade 5 patties of cheese for free today. At any juicy patty island-wide.
Conditions apply.
Every Wednesday at 11 a.m. on Love 101, you're invited to listen to Good Morning Minister, a weekly feature where government ministers will speak about the development in their various ministries. Listen for the updates and have your questions and concerns ready to share inside Good Morning Minister as the Minister of Information, Robert Nesta Morgan, and a guest minister or agency head discuss the issues and take your questions and suggestions. Get ready to call in during Good Morning Minister, 11 a.m. on Wednesdays, right here on Love 101, the family station.
From generation to generation, Jamaicans have depended on J&B Bank to make the pride and joy of providing a safe place for their families possible. Now, with no processing fees and no down payment mortgage options, you can open the door to your own sweet home, a legacy to hand to your next generation. Visit jnbank.com to get pre-approved today. J&B Bank will help you find a way.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's now join Nadine for a look at how our Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp friends answered today's question. Is the taxi fare increase a fare increase? Nadine?
Boy, they be talking this morning. Over on Facebook, Marlene Dunkley says, out of our reach, we can't afford it. In WhatsApp, she says, well, this person says, I'm paying $250 to Halfway Tree. How much should I pay now? I'm not, okay, they're confused. This person says, this is Reverend Mitchell. What about putting up metal signs with the fares in all the parks? Just like how you see a permit, then they want to see the fares put up publicly. So I guess that's a good idea.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Cherry says it would be fair for some and unfair for some. Paychecks not increasing, school fees not decreasing. I know there are expenses when it comes to transport. Bus operators who overcharge on certain routes. Kadeen says, let me see if I can go through this. Wondering, she was about to ask, and she's happy that we're discussing it in Morning Watch. Okay. Edna from Montego Bay says,
good morning, Morning Watch. Good morning, Love 101 listeners and staff. Yes, I think the FARE is a FAIR increase. However, I don't understand when all of a sudden we hear that we have to pay more on the transport when we are traveling. Because I can remember the last time taxi fare was $130, and then all of a sudden I heard it jump to $150. We have to be paying $150, and I didn't hear it over the radio or anywhere that it went up. So I know I don't understand it, but we just have to pay it. You understand? So I wish them all the best. Increase is good because things is expensive all around for both we the commuter and the transport sector.
All right, and one more.
Good
Angela.
morning, everyone. I believe this is so unfair on the commuters, because everybody have it hard. You understand? Everybody have it hard. I believe that the taximen them should save their money if there's a parts to buy. Why them want the public to buy it for them out of the public purse? That is not fair. People have it hard. It is hard with us as well out here. We can't afford too much bus fare. The pay is small. Our salary is very small.
All right, that's from
Morning.
Angela Miss
I
Fisher.
am living all the way in St. Anne. My child go to school in Ocho-Rios. So I live in Runaway Bay and my child go to school in Ocho-Rios. We as a big person paying $180 on the bus to go to Ocho-Rios. They were already charging the children $150 to go to Ocho-Rios. Now the fare raise. What are they going to charge the children to go to school?
Oh boy. All
With
right.
a
So we
single
have
mother, you know?
Yeah, we have a lot of comments coming in, but I guess we get the gist. Some think it's fair, some think it's unfair, and they want balance. I guess we want to see the salary increase too. Over to you, Rev.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much, Nadine. And thanks to all those who responded. Interesting comments there. As we now segue into the second watch, at last count, at least 44 nations have publicly expressed their condemnation of the Hamas attack on Israel 10 days ago. Others, including regional players such as Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Syria, and Iraq, have placed responsibility on Israel for the attacks. Who is right or who is wrong in this case? Well, to discuss this complex and controversial issue, we have joining us the Reverend Kenneth Richards, President of the Jamaica Council of Churches and Roman Catholic Archbishop of Kingston, and also Dr. Wayne West, Chairman of the Jamaica Coalition for a Healthy Society. Good morning to you both.
Good morning. Good morning, Archbishop. Long time.
Good morning. Yes, okay, Wayne. Good.
Great. Good to have you both with us. Gentlemen, what are your opening thoughts really on the so-called Israel-Hamas war so far? Beginning with you, Dr. West.
Of course, this is complex. It goes back a number of years, but I look at it from a spiritual point of view. I think that this started in the book of Genesis, chapter 12, when God called Abraham. God made some deliberate choices. He called Abraham, promised him that land, then said that he would give the land to his descendants after he took them out of Egypt, met with them on Mount Sinai, made a covenant with them, and they would have the land on condition they behaved. If they didn't behave, they would be kicked out of the land, scattered among the people, and then brought back. So I think God orchestrated a set of conditions that lead to the conflict that we are seeing today, in that he promised the land to the Israelites, kicked them out of it because they disbehaved, but may have brought them back for this time, and that is going to cause problems for the nations. That's a spiritual thing.
That land includes Gaza?
The original land that God promised to Abraham, as far as I recall, is quite extensive. I don't remember the exact context in terms of modern countries, but it included some of those Arab countries as well. It is much larger than the land that they have now.
Okay. Archbishop Richards, your take on that, your opening thoughts?
Yeah, my opening thoughts, what we're seeing playing out is man's inhumanity to man. And I suppose, as we mentioned, there's might be some scriptural contextual understanding that might be motivating for the Israel with respect to the rights that they think that they have. But everything boils down to inhumanity to man, because what we're seeing now is a propensity to war, to destroy our fellow man, and no disposition for discussion to see how a two-state solution can be worked out, so that we can live together, because we are all brothers and sisters of one Father in the end, and we have to find a way of living together. The allegation that the Hamas was provoked by actions by Israeli, I don't know where we can put that. Sometimes persons do things that are unjust, etc., how do we respond to it? And some persons believe that the way in which this attack was executed by Hamas, it seemed that's something that was in the plan and not just an immediate response to the particular festival that was taking place at the time. Of course, the Hamas has given a rationale that the ill treatment of their women and their holy sites is one of the reasons for the attack.
Tell you what, Archbishop, we're up on a break. We really want to hear more about that. All right, we'll be right back.
Praise sardine for the chef and the beginner. Follow the one with pepper, that are the winner. Shop on supermarket, everybody
Praise
sell it.
sardines, follow the better flavor.
The time is
7:42 and a half. Reminding you, you're inside the Morning Watch, brought to you by the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. Achieving prosperity through partnership, economic growth, and sustainable development.
In 2022, 51 projects were completed under the Urban Renewal Program. This includes zinc fence removal, installation of solar lights and street signs, and the upgrade of parks and green spaces. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation is reviving the urban landscape, renewing communities for a better tomorrow.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint, and in this, the second watch, we have been discussing the world's response to the Israel-Hamas war. And we're asking, what really is the right response? In so doing, we have online Dr. Wayne West, chairman of the Jamaica Coalition for a Healthy Society, and Archbishop Kenneth Richards, president of the Jamaica Council of Churches and Roman Catholic Archbishop for Kingston. Archbishop, before the break, you were telling us about your views on the matter, your opening thoughts in terms of women and the children. Go ahead, please.
Oh, yes, so I was saying that the rationale that has been given by Hamas is that they were provoked by Israeli action towards their women and also to their religious sites. And that is what initiated this attack that was launched on the 7th. But it seems peculiar that it was so coordinated to have been just an initial instinctive response to that festival that is often put in, has been put as part of the rationale for the blasphemy by that religious that festival that was taking place. But ultimately, it is about man's inhumanity to man, and we need to, by now, after years of seeing what war does, nobody wins in war, and most often it's the innocent that suffer. So there has to be a diplomatic solution that is sought, that we recognize that we are brothers and sisters. We have to share land space, etc. And so we have to find a better solution rather than the way in which that ends up with war that is causing the destruction of property and the destruction and destroying of lives, especially the innocent.
Yeah. Dr. West, did Israel deserve this attack, sir?
Did they deserve the attack? I would say no, not the nature of this attack. No. Listen, when you look at the size of Israel and the size of the Arab territories, the Arab territories are about 100 times the size of the sliver of land that the nation of Israel is. Also, when you look at the wealth of the Arab nations, you wonder why there has not been a solution to this problem, because it seems to me the solution is quite easy. You can get a state for Hamas, not Hamas, for the Palestinians, within any one of those huge Arab nations, which, as I said, their landmass together is about 100 times that of the landmass of Israel. And the people like the Muslims, the Arabs in Dubai and these places have enough resources to help to settle the Palestinians into whatever land there is. The reason why there is no solution is because just as Israel says that, look, this land was given to us by God, I don't think it is said as often that the Palestinians and the Arabs think that all of the land in that area, including the land of Israel, is Islamic Arab land. So they want to obliterate the state of Israel. If the objective of this crisis were to get a land for the Palestinians, that could be done tomorrow, easily. There is enough land there, there's resources there, but the issue is they wish to obliterate the state of Israel. And that is what is causing the problem.
It's argued that there's vice versa, Dr. West, that Israel wants to do a similar thing. They want to get the people out of Gaza.
But the point I'm making is that if you look at the land in the area that belongs to the Islam, the Muslims and the Arabs, it is about 100 times the size of the sliver of land that the Israelis have. So, and you must remember as well that that land was part of the Ottoman Turk Empire. There was never a nation of Palestine that was governed by the Palestinian people. They, along with the Jews, lived in that land under the Ottoman Turk Empire. So what I'm saying is that if you want to solve the problem, there is land enough to solve the problem. There is money enough to solve the problem of the Palestinians. There is enough land to give them a state, and there is enough money to help them to get that state up and running. The people do not want to do that. They want to get rid of Israel out of that area. That is the problem.
Hearing loud and clear. Archbishop, your thoughts on that?
Well, we're not at a good point, with respect to the territorial offering that is at hand. But I mean, with a matter of justice, if you remember the story with David and Naboth, David had all large land, large livestock, etc. And having a visitor, he thought that he wanted the vineyard of Naboth, who had his little lamb.
Sorry, Archbishop. In this case, Israel is David. That's what you're saying.
No. We're not just mentioned that the Islamic and the Muslim territory is 100 times the size of the Israeli land. But at the time, with respect to a matter of justice, and this is where deliberate negotiations, because the point I wanted to make is that not because I have a little land, if it belongs to me, it belongs to me. And so the determination with respect to ownership, the determination with respect to yielding and to make a accommodation for neighborly existence, etc., is something that both nations need to come together and deliberate. And the best solutions that two nations state and arrive at, through deliberations. But if each person is going to hold a corner, I mean, there'll be no solution to this problem.
Two nation states. You're with your agreement with that, Dr. West?
Absolutely. I believe the Palestinians should have a state. They should have a state of their own. But as I said, why take away the 100? Why take away the 100 of the size of the Arab land that the Israelis have and divide that 100 of land into two states when you have, as I said, 100 times the landmass in places around Israel? that the Palestinian people who are Muslims and Arabs, why shouldn't their brothers absorb them, give them a piece of land? And as I said, the amount of money there is in the Middle East. Pardon
Why
me?
not Gaza? Dr. West, why not Gaza for that?
But Gaza is part of the 100th of the land that Israel has. Why? The question I'm asking, what is the rationale? What is the rationale? What is the rationale for having Arabs having 100 times the landmass of Israel? Israel being a sliver of land, what is the rationale for taking that sliver of land and subdividing it instead of giving piece of the land, which is 100 times that sliver of land, to the Palestinians? That's the question that I don't see anybody answering. Why take the little that Israel has instead of taking a piece of what the Arabs and they have? What is the rationale for
Israel
that?
has. Yeah. Does Israel have the Gaza land? Does it belong to Israel?
It does, like I said, from a biblical point of view, not only Gaza, but other parts of that territory, which includes some of those other countries, belong to Israel. That was what was promised to Israel. They never achieved it. But the question, the practical problem we're having today, this is the practical problem we're having today. You have Israel occupying a sliver of land, which is about 100 the size of the land that the Arab territories occupy. The question is, the Palestinians need a space to live. Why is it that their Muslim, quote, Arab brothers do not give them another sliver of land within one of those land masses? This is 100 times Israel. What is the rationale for seeking to force Israel with its sliver of land to share the land with the Palestinians? I'm saying to you, there is none. Let me just finish. There is none. The motive behind it, as Hamas themselves actually say, they wish to obliterate the land, the state of Israel. Because as far as they are concerned, Israel is occupying land that is Arab Muslim. So they do not want a state of Israel at all. This is why the Palestinians have never settled for the this two-state solution. They have been offered it 5 times and they've rejected it. Because as far as the Arabs and the Muslims are concerned, Israel should not exist as a state. It doesn't belong there. That territory is Arab Islam.
Let me bring back in Archbishop. Archbishop, as you know, time is upon us. What are your concerns on the response so far of the rest of the world, in particular the Arab vis-a-vis the non-Arab world? Archbishop?
Well, the concern has to be regard for the dignity of human life, and one of the travesty or that you could maybe describe taking place now is the fact that the innocent people are suffering and dying, and there has to be a recognition that war is a defeat for all, both sides, and you know there have been calls that have been made with respect to Israel giving consideration to humanitarian consideration so that provisions can be made for the servicing of the hospital, food and water for people, because that's another humanitarian disaster that is taking place now because of the conflict, and Israel, in their own defense. I mean, everybody has a right to defend their property and their life, etc. But at the same time, there are rules of war that need to be abided by. But Israel has declared that Hamas has departed from the rules of engagement. So we also are going to depart from the rules of engagement. And Israel, you know, it's their state intent that they're not going to give up this time. You know, that they're going to seek out every member of Hamas to eliminate them. That's a determination. In the meantime, the innocent are suffering. And hope, you know, that
on both sides.
Yes, well, on both sides, of course.
Yeah.
Both sides can prevail, so that innocent life can be preserved, but also to provide the opportunity for the discussion, diplomatic engagement, with respect to coming to a solution. And we just have to continue to pray and ask for that kind of intervention at this time.
a fitting note on which to end. Gentlemen, we want to thank you both for joining us.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Of course,
And
we
Archbishop, morning
continue
again.
to be in prayer
Okay,
for that situation in the Middle East. Have a safe day. Listeners, thanks for joining us this morning on the Morning Watch. Join us again tomorrow as we continue to set the stage for a discussion of topical and the controversial issues. For information on how to get copies of this program, call our production department at 876-968-9596-7. This has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer, Kathy Gale, and our guests. I'm Dylan Toussaint, giving a shout out to the pastors and members of the Bethel Baptist Church in Halfway Tree, as I hand you back to Love in the Morning with Nadine Blair.
Clearing personal, non-commercial shipments at the port? Avoid the wait. Request a contactless clearance through your agent today. It's more efficient. It's secure. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
just about 8:01. You're now invited to listen to Forward in Faith.